Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. It is Michael and we are going to tackle your monthly market update for November. Are we going to get a 50-year mortgage? I mean, for those of you who don't know, the standard is 30 years, but according to the new administration, we are potentially going to get a 50-year mortgage. What does that mean? Is that good? Is it bad? As with all things, there's two sides to the coin, so let's go over that today. What would happen if we got a 50-year mortgage? So I got some graphs here that I thought might be really interesting for you. As you know, 30-year mortgages have most of their interest payment paid up front. So in the first 5 years of your mortgage, 75% of your payments monthly go towards your overall interest. As the loan progresses over time, more of that goes to principal, with the most of it going to principal at the end of those 30 years. So with a 50-year note, that doubles the amount of time that you would potentially have for interest to accrue, okay? So I have on here the graph. So let's say we've got a $400,000 loan. It's a 6% interest rate, and then a 30-year mortgage payment's gonna look somewhere around $2,400. Okay, so $2,400 for a $400,000 loan for 30 years. If we were to take that same loan and put it into a 50-year program, you would have a monthly payment of about $2,100. So you're saving about $300 a month because you've got a longer loan. But if you look at the graph there, you are paying almost double the amount of interest, with even less of it being towards principal at the beginning of your mortgage. So the good thing is, a 50-year mortgage would allow people who currently can't afford the 30-year mortgages to get to the market. Be especially helpful for like first-time homebuyers or the younger generation. The problem with that is that because so little of the payment is going towards equity, if prices were to come down at all and you were looking to sell your home in 3 or 4 years, you could be in a negative equity position because there's not a lot of money going towards your principal payment. So prices would have to continue to appreciate. As we know in the real estate market, we've seen this multiple times, prices go up and go down. There's usually a steady trend upwards, but timing is everything. And so while this may allow people who can't currently get into the market be able to afford homes, it could potentially put a big burden on them that may not pay off over time. Additionally, we have sort of a stagnant market right now. Sellers are having to do price drops, seller concessions to get their home off of the market, whether they like it or not. And buyers are just really picky. There's not a lot of buyers in the buyer pool right now. If we were to introduce this 50-year program, so right now, the first-time homebuyer pool is half of what we've seen in the past. It is at an all-time low. That is why we've seen such few real estate transactions in the last couple of years. If we were to introduce this 50-year mortgage option, this would allow those people who are unable to get into the market, flood into the market right now. If all of them came into the market at once, what would happen to pricing? This could potentially end up driving up pricing too. So it's a double-edged sword, which has probably as many benefits as it does downfalls. We will see what happens with this, but it is really interesting information. Personally, from my opinion, I think we should just actually offer the first-time home buyer a lower interest rate payment on a 30-year mortgage. It just makes sense to me. The first-time home buyer should just possibly get a first-time interest rate as well. That would, in my mind, save a lot of problems. As we move on to the local Ada County market, there's really not much news. I mean, I've been telling you about this every month. We have an all-time high of inventory, and pendings have kind of come down a little bit. Price drops have gone up. This last couple of weeks of the year, people are trying to get their house off of the market. So we're seeing a lot of people drop price right now. And additionally, we're seeing a lot of sellers just pull their home off the market and waiting for next year. We aren't getting new inventory hitting the market, which is good for those homes that need to stay on the market for the rest of the year. That'll be less competition for them. But the drop in interest rates that we've seen recently has not had a major effect on the buyer pool. I mean, it's been almost an entire percentage drop in interest rates, but it hasn't moved the needle enough to bring buyers back into the pool. So if we really want to see a change in absorption rates of buyers coming back into the market, interest rates need to continue to go down. The world is in especially the US, is in a very interesting place right now. Everybody's paying attention to the economy. Everybody's looking at their finances. Credit card debt is at an all-time high. Real estate has been in what we consider a recession for the last 3 years. And every market is starting to separate. When we saw interest rates drop significantly, there's a big boom everywhere. Everybody was doing well. And now we're starting to see certain metros stabilize and potentially even have some growth while others are falling apart. And I always like to look to my local market, as a lot of people are currently right now. I think CNBC just said that the top 5 states that people are potentially looking to move to, Idaho is number 3. We have low crime, great outdoors, and it's still relatively affordable, even with the price increases we've seen in the last few years. But this was really interesting information to me. So jobs in the Ada County area, in the Boise metro area, grew 15.7% between 2019 and 2024 compared to just 4% nationally. So on average, homes in the nation are going about 4%. Boise is almost 4 times that amount of growth, which is pretty cool to see. Additionally, unemployment is hovering in the 3 to 4% range, which is not true of all markets, but we have a really good job market right here. So we have strong job growth, lower unemployment, and was sustained in migration. So we are positioned to be a standout market in what could be an overall cooling economy in the United States. There was also mention recently that for those buyers with lower credit scores, FHA is going to release the lower credit score to minimum, meaning that there would be no minimum for credit scores. I'm going to talk about that in the next video because just like the 50-year mortgage, I'm not sure if it's a good idea. Thank you all very much for joining me for the November market update. My name is Michael. I'll see you next month.